Hello, my beautiful stars. Welcome back to Path of Spirals Tarot. Do you guys say tarot? Tarot? Emphasis on the wrong syllable you choose. My name is Claire. If you're new here, welcome back. If you've tuned in to Path of Spirals before, we do 5 days a week. We do one reading Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday and a Friday are for long form grouped readings. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays are for shorts. Okay, so feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and make me, little old me, a part of your routine when you're cleaning at home, standing in your underwear in your living room, traversing the expanses of the cosmos in your mind. Maybe you want to tune into me. So today is Friday the 13th, and congratulations, because this is a day of divine where are my words? Hello. Divine feminine reckoning, okay? Because the superstition of Friday the 13th came from some crusty, dusty men that were like, any type of practice that benefits women's power and supports the balance of the earth and creates, equity and equality, what if that was evil? Because guess how many menstrual cycles women tend to have every year? 13. The womb that creates life goes through 13 sacred cycles, but it must be evil. So, anyways, that's why today we are doing a pick-a-pile, and it's going to be about the divine feminine, okay? I have the spread here for you. We can talk about it quick, and we'll go more into depth about it in a minute. The divine medicine woman spread, where we'll do three main cards: the gift you carry, 2 where the gift wants to be used now, and then the 3rd card will be a blessing that unfolds. We are using my first tarot deck, like the deck that really got me locked in years ago, and this is the same deck. It's looking okay. She's a little worse for wear. This is the Medicine Woman deck by Carol Bridges, and I also have her guidebook. Yeah, we're using her today, and if we want to do something supplemental, if we feel called, then always the Archetypes by Kim Kranz. I work with this a lot, so felt like we should work with what we're comfortable with today. Before we get more into that reading and talk about the glyphs and picking groups, we always start with astrological updates. Even if you are watching this just for the reading, you can always skip ahead. Like I've said before, you can skip ahead and just go to your group, pick your group and be done with it. But if you like to learn about astrology, you learn through, listening to an intuitive and anecdotal retelling by somebody else who talks about astrology. For me personally, I like to get better at astrology by, interpreting it and sharing it with others. So I thought we would talk about 2 things, just today's daily moon update and then the big astrological event that's happening tomorrow. Okay, so we have a waning crescent moon in Capricorn, which is a fun and kind of opposing dichotomous, thing, because waning crescent moon is all about the ending and the death right before the new moon. And then Capricorn is like a planowitz. Let's do something. Let's plan something. Let's set the groundwork for something and see it through. So there might be a little bit of one energy over the other here. So you could do gentle planning, or, set the intention of just, I feel like Capricorn kind of overrides the feeling of the death and ending of the crescent moon. So if you still find yourself wanting to kind of plan something or visualize something, don't be surprised if you feel that way despite the crescent moon being, nearly a new moon. Okay. And then tomorrow is going to be Valentine's Day, and Valentine's Day is bringing with it big karma and initiatory energy, okay? Saturn's all about reaping what we sow. It's about discipline. And when it enters this cardinal energy of Aries, well, I really see it as the harvest coming full circle here, okay? So something we could say about Saturn, okay? Saturn is represented as the planet of discipline, responsibility, and like we said, reaping what we sow. When it enters Aries, which is a very fiery cardinal sign, it will remain there. It's going to be in Aries for about 2.5 to 3 years, depending. But this pairing brings a really unmistakable shift in tone, where there's no more stalling, second guessing, circling the starting line. No. We are locking in on Valentine's Day of all days, okay? And with Saturn entering at a 0 degree, this is an initiatory raw placement. There's a full trajectory of a journey that may not yet be clear. But what is clear is maybe the call to ownership of direction action, self-leadership, and Saturn in Aries demands commitment, courage, and accountability, okay? So this is not about rushing forward blindly, but it's about choosing to begin decisively. The time for preparation has passed and the work begins now. Make sure that work is meaningful with a net positive for you, okay? So think major long-term shifts or major long-term. Where's my English today? I'm so sorry. That is my first language. Major long-term shift toward responsibility around identity, initiative, courage, and self-leadership. We got that out of the way. Okay, so that's your astrological update before next week. Eclipses are coming, retrogrades are coming, but not yet. Okay, so we have 3 watercolored glyphs here today. Can you see them? Yes. We have 222. Are you feeling an angel number? Are you feeling a microphone? Or are you feeling a seashell? Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Okay, we are doing the Medicine Woman spread that I've kind of deemed myself. I made this spread up for today. And like I said, we're going to be working with the Medicine Woman deck, which is, indigenously, shamanistically inspired. Old, religions of old, listening to the earth, living in harmony and ceremony with the planet, Mother Gaia. Why not? Let's have a good read. And I'm going to read these cards upright, not because I can't read reversals. I do read reversals, but the upright has so much to it. And this is loosely based on RWS, but there is a little bit of some key differences here, whereby I just saved this deck and I have programmed it specifically for finding intuitive messages about the divine feminine. Okay. And the reason why I wanted to do this today was not just because of Friday the 13th, but outside of the context of just today's video, I did 2 readings for Monday and Wednesday this week. And you know what? They involved complicated and heavy dynamics between other people. And, when I start my readings, I set intentions and I just read what I see. And this week was pretty heavy, and there have been some heavy energies around and or complicated, and also involved the messiness of like uninitiated, naive masculine energy, which seems to be ruining a lot of things for a lot of people nowadays. And you know what? Today, I just want to celebrate the divine feminine. I want today to be a day where we empower ourselves with what our gifts are, what can we do with those gifts and what is the outcome of those gifts, because it's so easy to and sometimes tarot can get a little bit like this where it's like pointing out the problem, but sometimes the solution is a little bit ambiguous, or sometimes if you're watching something like the hard read and roast that tarot can give, especially just like a standard RWS, it really is just doesn't mince words. And I'm not saying that we should bypass the feelings and stuff that come up, because really archetypes exist, this liminal imaginal realm exists, and our access to it exists for the sake of our growth and evolution. So it always has that in mind, but some types of decks and some spreads have a little bit of a harsher tone than others. So I wanted to guarantee that today we were going to have something that feels uplifting, that feels actionable, feels within your orbit of control, and just right up your alley if you're somebody who identifies with what the divine feminine represents, which should be at minimum half of the population, ideally everybody. And yeah, the archetypes as we have from Kim Kranz, I've pulled these before, I'll pull them again. 4 different types of cards here we could pull alongside, which would be the selves, the tools, the places, and the initiations. If we feel called to add something to the reading, we will. And I also have the Medicine Woman Inner Guidebook today for our spread, which just has a plethora of information, affirmations, meditations about those gifts we're going to call in today, or identify rather. Okay, so going back to what this spread represents, before you pick your pile, we're almost done here, okay? The first card, can you see here? Yes. Okay, hold on one moment. The Divine Feminine spread. Card 1, the gift you carry, which would be a core strength, way of being. Think about something that just came to you easy. You didn't have to learn it. You didn't have to refine it. You didn't have to earn it. You just got it when you came to Earth. That's the first card. The second card is, where does this gift want to be used right now? So think about an area of life that's asking for the medicine of this gift and the direction that the gift wants to flow. Okay. Then the blessing that unfolds is kind of like a culmination card. Yeah. A supportive outcome and expansion when all of these cards are read together in union. Okay, without further ado, pick a pile, pick a glyph. 222's group 1, microphone's group 2, shell is group 3. All right, group 1, you were feeling those angel numbers. It's hard to look away from angel numbers. I always see them on people's license plates. Lots of 444s, 777s, and 888s for me lately, but 222 will take it. All right, let's give a little shuffle here. So we are, first actually, before we start, we need to open the portal, and always I call in the highest source's energy, whether you call that source Gus, call it God, call it Allah. Maybe you also work with multiple deities. Maybe you're into the expression of the multiple archetypes of that oneness. Whatever you identify with, that's fine. You do what you need to do. Spiritual autonomy and making decisions over how you connect to your own inner truth and knowing that is yours. And nobody can take that away from you. And I'll never step on anybody's toes with what they believe in. But with that being said, we're incredibly inclusive here. Okay? We're also calling in angels, ancestors, highest timelines, totem animals. Some of you like to speak to mandalas. Whatever it is that you connect to that brings guidance and inner knowing, we call that in. And we also create a crystalline dome over the reading, by which we call in safety, lock it in, and also push away any negative, crusty, dusty vibes, okay? We don't want them. Now, also, this deck in particular has a couple of cards that I like to read before I start. And I've noticed if I forget to read these and I don't pull them out of the deck, I will almost every time default to pulling these cards before I pull the others. They're basically like, excuse me, have reverence for the deck. Open up the portal and do a ceremony by reading them, okay? So we are going to do that today. Great Spirit, Mother Creator, bless the earth through my life. Source of all nourishment, we seek to replenish your sacred world. Guide us now through these images, words, and feelings within as we reach into the wholeness. Let all that is needed be known. Welcome energies of earth, air, fire, and water. Let us create a life of beauty, reverence, and wonder. With each season, let us rejoice. Through every phase of sun and moon, let us be in harmony. In every direction shall we offer our love. Let the reading begin. Oh, doesn't that just create warm fuzzies inside of you? So great. Okay, first card is, what's your gift? What is your, oh, I see it. It's sticking out. What is your gift? There's your gift. Where does your gift want to be used? Let's see. Your gift wants to be used here. What is the blessing and outcome for group 1? Here's the blessing. Y'all ready for this? Now, these cards have some different names, especially the major arcana have different names for the major arcana than the minor arcana, but then the RWS's words for the major arcana will be on the card. I'm saying that before I flip them. I don't know if there's any major arcana here. Let's have a look. Okay, so your gift that you were born with. The 3 of Pipes. So pipes are seen as a spirit card. Okay, keep that in mind. Walking ahead and seeing what others don't see. Also having like any type of bird, like especially within like indigenous practices, birds represent like oversight, guides, higher spiritual awareness. Okay, so that's, we'll read more about it, and I'll also open up the book to read more about it. Okay, that's your gift. Where it wants to be used is in the totem of arrows. Okay, and then we have the totem of arrows being the coyote, the 4-leggeds. And now the totem represents a court card. And honestly, it's been a while since I've pulled these, so we're gonna read about it in a second, okay? And then the blessing and outcome is the 10 of Pipes. Okay, so we see a bigger manifestation of that spiritual gift. It's so cute. Honestly, like I kind of see myself in this because I have 2 sons, but like my oldest son kind of looking over while I'm doing my cute little creative things, whether I'm creating something. I love to paint. Love that. Maybe that's something you guys all feel as well. Okay, so 3 of Pipes being the gift. Gotta flip through this book here, okay? My handy dandy notebook. Gotta go back a little bit because I just want the... Here. Okay, 3 of Pipes. Dream, envision, and wander. Okay, so your gift lies in, visions. Being able to see. Dream weaving, right? Bringing things earthside. Where it wants to be used is with arrows. And the totem of arrows is seeing through cultural illusions. Okay, so, think about how you are likely somebody who knows what the truth is all the time. You know what is accurate, And if you don't know, you can go dream about it. So this is likely that you have kind of like prophetic dreams. I have one friend in particular that comes to mind. Like she dreams things before they happen. She's dreamed about partners of past and like when they were not being faithful. She knew the names of the people that they were being unfaithful with. Like she knew. She stayed known, okay? I also have this gift quite a bit. My mom as well has this gift. And dreams are such an interesting thing. I find them so merciful because like dreams they can represent so many different things. You can use them for channeling. You can use them for recycling the chaff of life, like just subconsciously. You can use them for dream visitations, like maybe when you have had a loved one pass, you can connect with them in the dream world. That would be what you can do. And not only that you have a vision, you can see things other people can't see. You know, when you look at this, we might see somebody, all you see is a desert, right? But she sees something else. She sees what it could become. But definitely not a Walmart parking lot. Definitely not a genocide. Definitely not decimating hundreds of thousands of people's homes to make a resort nobody wants to go to. Gaza. Okay, and then totem of arrows, the coyote on the 4 legs, okay? This is going to be where you need to apply it. All right, so think about coyote in general. I mean, coyotes get a kind of sometimes they have this association with like deceit. Foxes and coyotes can be a little bit like cunning, sneaky, conniving, and that like you need to use your gift to cut through sneaky, conniving energy, right? Like I think the call here is like always trust your intuition. Just like the way that tarot never lies, the cards never lie, your inner knowing and your intuition never lies. Okay, I do feel called to read a little bit more about the totem of arrows. So let's see. Arrows is going to be, yeah, through here. Almost there. Okay, this is going to be like the night of, well, arrows and pipes are switched here. So I think this is about like fire. Okay, totem of arrows. Okay, let's see, the prayer. Through all my battles I've come, on a hard path I've traveled. With mountain below I sit at the peak. The clouds are my pillows now, the sun is my crown, and I will sit here until my teachings are heard, never ceasing to speak. There's your wisdom. That's how you have to apply it, never ceasing to speak. Those with ears to hear will feel my wild and cunning nature. See, I told you, cunning. I am free yet determined. I know my way and seize every opportunity that comes on my path. The spirit moves me. The lesson is the coyote's been known as the trickster. There is no greater trickster than words. If you can learn their power, you've mastered a tremendous force. People often trick themselves into believing they have achieved a goal simply because they can verbalize it, but words must be backed by full commitment of action to achieve. People are also tricked into believing that they are the words others use to describe them. You are not what others think of you. You are the words you allow to dwell in your mind. People are persuaded by words, believing in false promises. You must not only listen but observe. Do others act in accordance with the words you hear them speaking? Do you? Trust not words alone, but the power behind them. Listen to the essence of what is being spoken. Your body knows truth before your mind does. Like the 4-leggeds, you have an inner sense of when to pay attention. Your instinctive body response senses danger, pleasure, promise. It's known when to exercise caution, restraint, abandon, frivolity, grace, cunning. Learn its way. Listen with your whole body. Okay, so I sort of feel like there's almost like a little bit of a warning there. I like to see the coyote as its gift side. It's not like talking about it being like lying or being this sort of negative thing. It's about having all of your instinctual senses about you and knowing how to stand up for what's right, but use your discernment, take the temperature of the room because we need to know that being truthful and being accurate in the current zeitgeist of our world doesn't always get you recognition. It doesn't always get you safety or security. It doesn't get you liked in this world. Spirit loves it. God loves it when you do the right thing. But some of the systems that are in place in our world currently, in our unsustainable systems of living, do not reward the divine feminine power of seeing. Okay? It does not. So to be the coyote is to know how and when to speak your truth. Listen to your intuition when you can speak the truth, but also know how to hold back. 2 also represents like a balancing of resources, like knowing when to push and when to pull back, right? And like think about you being alive today. Think about you being alive today. You are alive because all of your ancestors had their wits about them and they knew the discernment, how and when to speak up and when to remain silent. And sadly, many of our ancestors remained silent because they couldn't speak up. But in the current times, many of us have the privilege to say more, and we always should. Okay. Now the blessing on the way when these things are in place is the 10 of Pipes. Okay, so 10 of Pipes is... Okay, oh, there it is. I saw it. 10 of Pipes. Return your experience to the world. Okay, so this is kind of also about like advocacy work, like finally sharpening this tool, this sense of discernment to move through the world, puts you in alignment and is also going to reward you by having more people see what you're doing. Okay, don't be afraid of that. And if you're not really sure how to tap into this, I would really sit in like meditation. You can also do trataka. You can like candle gaze. I think that sitting down with journaling, different things that you do to connect to your wild self, that should be coming out at this point in time, especially with Saturn entering Aries tomorrow, planting those seeds of wanting to be a little bit less domesticated, being and tapping into the more raw, wild nature of your soul with discernment. That is important. Discernment's important. It's going to get you far in this life. Okay? Always have discernment with your gifts, because these gifts are very powerful. Like we're talking about Friday the 13th being we just talked about what that meant. The cursedness, anything that is too divinely feminine, too tapped in, too connected to the truth, can be somewhat dangerous to the person that holds that gift very well. Okay? So, you're doing a great job, okay, group one? Before we go, one last thing. I do feel like we could get one archetypes card. Let's just do it. I just feel like I was almost about to end the reading, but I thought we maybe should just get one more. Okay. The cave. Okay, I think this is a little bit of like how to like get into this energy to like have better discernment is to go into the cave. I think about the cave as like where the heart resides. Retreating to the cave is kind of like this hermit energy, like making sure that you are tuning in to your deepest knowing and having places to go to. This is a place you go to gather this information, right? Have a cheat sheet for the archetypes here. So the cave represents... Oh, I wrote them all down here. Yeah, the places. It's going to be... Yeah, the cave is the sacred center within the heart. Well, that's all I wrote about that. So you got to find ways to tune into the sacred center of the heart in order to finally tune this, okay? All right, group one, thank you for the reading. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to go to group two. Okay, group two, I think you saw the karaoke microphone and you just couldn't resist. Let's figure out today what your gift is. Hi. Okay, these cards are excited. They really want you to know. Oh, I only got 2 hands and 10 fingers. Oh, okay, this one. That's your gift. How does it want to be used in the world? Okay, all right. Sheesh. What's the blessing that comes? Super high energy in these cards suddenly. Jeez. I'm just the channel, okay? All right, there. All right, these better be good. This better be a pretty cool combination. I'm gonna make my hands become butterfingers. All right, the gift. We just pulled this one for literally group one. Okay. And then this, I was actually thinking that this glyph was really good for this card in the last reading, but okay, maybe this is an expanded reading. Group one and group two could go listen to each other's readings, okay? Totem of Arrows. Having the discernment of knowing how and when to speak your truth or the truth, when to also be cunning, when to be deceitful to save yourself, using your survival instincts that have been finely tuned over thousands of years of ancestors, trial and error. And who survived to this point today got good at this. Okay, so there are many of us that are kind of good at this, but we err even more on the side of caution. So this card's a little bit about like speaking a little bit more, but having discernment how to speak, okay? Where do you want to use this gift? In the 5 of Pipes. Okay. I don't remember what that means. I got the book though. Okay. Like I said, I haven't worked with all these cards in a while. And then the outcome is the 10 of Arrows. So we had arrows and pipes in the last reading and we got more arrows and pipes in this reading. Okay. So 5 of Pipes is where we're going to be applying that gift. 5 of Pipes, alluring through opposition or inertia. The allure through opposition or inertia. Okay, I remember pulling this card before and being like, what does that mean? Let's go and read a little bit more about that. Five of Pipes. Okay. Allure through opposition. Let's go to the lesson. Your vision has brought a portion of your dream to you, but not all forces are yet aligned with your dream. Your own mind may wander from your vision. You may have friends or relatives who disapprove. The world may not currently accept what you have to offer. It's time to face these things and lure the universe to accommodate you. Holding the highest good that you can imagine in mind, begin to enter the unknown. Whether you are engaged in a hunt in the primeval... why is my English not remembering how to say that? Primeval? I want to say primeval forest, or entering into a new marriage or a new career. You are stepping alone into a force field much larger than yourself. You're seeking only one prize, the cherished central key to your dream. Perhaps it is a person's ongoing love, maybe a position where your creative works will be recognized and encouraged, or an inner step of development that you've been longing to achieve. In any case, you must use your personal talents to guide the dearly desired towards you. Your fears will rise up. Your expectations that others should already be attuned to your needs will be confronted. You are alone and small in a field of seeming opposition. It is time to go with your gifts, pull out your talents, and use them, however meager you may think them to be. This is what the universe is asking of you now. Trust the higher self. Pull out the pipes and blow life's breath into them. Give it your all. This is the ego's battle to transcend its boundaries. It is a time of interpersonal breakthrough and growth. You are coming to terms with life around you. This is creative conflict or a therapy stage of relationship, a cleansing intensive. All of your energy is called forth to empower you. Play for all you are worth. Your higher self is being pulled through the world, and the world will respond. Remember, attachment to ego is not just self-centeredness, but can be a stubborn holding on to the old and less creative self. Free those ego boundaries. Soar beyond old limitations. There are wonderful things you wish to do. Take this chance. Okay, it's kind of giving the five of... probably is the corresponding card is the Five of Wands, which is about like competitive chaos and like having an opposition or like jealousy or like other people's relative sense of safety in their environment being challenged by you wanting to do more. So it's kind of saying that like you have this gift, you're also facing like the fears of it. Like, don't worry, you just have to push through. And like the way you do that is make sure that like what you are doing is what you want to do and you're doing it for yourself. That will give you endless energy and it'll make you show up again and again, even if like people around you don't really care. Also, like quick, I don't mean to like rain on your parade. This is just the realistic parade. People that are closest to you, oftentimes, like if you're not already in rooms where there are people you aspire to be, there are just people that are around you for the sake of convenience, just because you know them and like these people have known like older versions of you, you really can't be surprised if they start moving weird when you make better moves for yourself. Okay, you should anticipate it, and even if it's like a sad thing, that's very reassuring. Because also stop and imagine like who do you want around you when you have this legacy work going on? Who do you want to support you? What reinforcement would you like for what you're doing when you have such a beautiful thing to offer, right? You don't need other people around you that might not have the best habits themselves in one way or another, or like don't think that highly of themselves, don't speak well about themselves. Like you don't really want that to be, they might have to be a part of your life because they're family, or like you have to maintain alliances with them, and like in some level you might care about those people. Yeah, but on the other side of it, when it comes to your work, you can't let it get in the way of finding other energies that really align with what you have to offer. Okay? Same thing coming here and doing a YouTube channel like this. I can tell you 100%, I was not doing this hoping anybody that knows me to any degree would tell me I was doing a good job. That's a hop, skip, and a jump away from who I used to be when I was a big people pleaser. Okay? So we're stepping out of people pleasing and being surprised by how people move when you do cool stuff. Okay, stuff that scares them, they'll act very differently. They'll act weirdly. They'll create some sort of echo chamber bias to make you seem like the weird one so that they don't have to do any work on themselves. That's how people move, because they're kind of lazy, and like ego just steps in and says something and then people run with it, because if it means they don't have to try harder, they won't try harder, and then they'll project it onto you. Okay, so don't claim that. You know what I mean? The outcome is 10 of Arrows. 10 of Arrows is be steadfast of mind. Don't feel like I really need to say more about that. The opposition you're facing is pretty big, I guess, huh? Internal, but also external. Dang, you got a lot of snakes around you, and not the spiritual kind. Yeah, just be steadfast of mind. And also like this woman in this card, this one, the arrows, she's always the one you see like doing various things with her arrows. Look at, there's like a shield around them. This is almost like protection from the evil eye. Like there's somebody trying to shoot them down. There's a guide that's like looking up at the shield, and like she's in this sort of orb, right? She's in this orb of protection with people that want to hear what she has to say, because she's consulting and they're all listening. And she's being steadfast and knowing that like nothing that isn't meant to harm her, like it won't cross her path, right? So just remember that, okay? So with that in mind, let's take one archetypes card, see if there's anything else we can pull for this reading. Let's see if there's anything that stands out to us. The bridge. Okay, cool. The bridge, and that's just about connecting to your guides and your higher self. Honestly, if you want to have the stamina to do any kind of vertical work, and most creative work is vertical, you have to know how to tap into what you believe in. Like, what's your spiritual religious framework? What do you identify with that helps you feel safe and connected to your creative potential and your highest inner knowing? Like, if this card comes up, it's asking you to take stock on that, because you need to have that. Otherwise, it is hard to be steadfast. It's hard to resist the allures of the ego and other people's crab in a bucket mentality. And it's hard for you to use this gift fully, okay? What a beautiful gift. You know, the bridge is something that can only be forged in love, not force, okay? So build a loving connection to the guides that are around you, because you have a lot of them, okay? All right, group 2. That's what we got going for you. Let's go to group 3. All right, group 3, you picked a seashell. I sure do miss the beach. It's currently winter right now. I haven't seen the ocean in a long time. Let's daydream about the beach. What is the gift that you have since you was born? What is it that you got, girl? What is it that you got? Okay, there it is. Where does that gift where does it want to go? What energy does it need to interact with? What environment does it need to be in? And what is the blessing and outcome? My little seashells. Ooh, I have like big feelings in my stomach as I'm trying to pull this one. Oh, don't mess it up. Don't mess it up. Okay, we're gonna go with this one. I couldn't mess it up. Spirit already knew what I was gonna pull. Oh, I just need to stop and acknowledge that I feel very big feelings about this. Wow. The grandmothers. Oh, I love that. Okay, the moon represents spirituality, grandmothers as well. Like, I like that this card also mixes, like, not just, like, one's spiritual, like, prowess, but also, like, the connection that they have to the divine feminine ancestors that came before them. The grandmothers is such a beautiful card to pull as your gift. So the gift being your spiritual insight, just in general, and also that you have help from the grandmothers that came before you, right? Where does it want to be used? The Ace of Pipes, in a new creative endeavor, I suppose. The outcome is the Exemplar of Stones. Oh, girl, Grandma wants you to make some money. You're going to sell some seashells by the seashore. Exemplar of Stones is either the Queen or the King. I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, King of Pentacles. Bougie. Biggest cornucopia you ever saw. Channeling your spiritual, like, prowess into some type of new creative fire brings you great success. See if there's anything else I really want to say about that. Let's see. Amen. We go through here. Been using this book today, guys. The grandfathers comes before the grandmothers. Here we are. The grandmothers, intuition, infinity within, the moon, the grandmothers who are wise. We are the grandmothers, and the moon is our symbol. We are intuitive knowledge that you feel or sense, knowledge that seems to be within your body. Our teaching is this: trust your body. Your body subtly reacts to everything you present to it and gives you feedback as to whether a particular thing is right for you in that moment. At night when you sleep and dream, your body goes through experiences that it needs in order to live the life you're attempting to live now. Your thoughts lay out the blueprint, and your body tells you what to do. Moment by moment, through its feeling responses, it lets you know if you have erred in your planning. It gives you peace and joy if you have planned well. That's all I feel like really reading about that right now, okay? So yeah, I feel very much like I associate with this so much. Like my dreams help me process so many things. And yeah, there's so much I could say about dreams, and I really hope we bring more dream work to this channel in some capacity, or I have something to offer you guys about it, because dreams are like, even if we can't really remember them, they're doing so much more for our etheric body and our spirit and our waking life than we realize. We come to earth to kind of forget our dreams for a reason. And also, a lot of times we go to the dream world and forget that we have earth to go back to. And there is some overlap if you're a lucid dreamer, but also maybe, for example, you have experienced the dream police. There are certain sort of, it's almost like a code that's written into this world and the dream realm, that there's not too much direct overlap in your consciousness, but it's all in your subconscious. So like, you, for example, probably dream every single night about what's going to happen the next day. And you have kind of planned with your guides and like your grandmothers, for example, the day before, you have already planned like what is likely going to happen the next day. And then you wake up and you don't really remember exactly what it was, but you often have feelings about how the day is going to play out. Always listen to that. For another, divine feminine energy is very subtle, right? God is very subtle. God is not shy. Source energy is not shy, but it is subtle. We are veiled from it, and we must work to ascend to get more layers removed of that veil, but we have to work for it, okay? Because to work for it, it's almost like there's like this initiation that goes into increasing your spiritual gifts or like your dream weaving gifts, is that you have to have the right intention in order to do it. Because if you have the bad, like wrong intentions for it, it's just not compatible with those higher realms, because the higher realms don't really have negative energies because it's higher, right? So working hard with the right intention and a good, cleansed, purified heart is what will bring like your gifts from the dreams earth side, for example, okay? So with that in mind, you see she's kind of like putting the key like into her ear, like her head. Yes, into her head. And then it's radiating outwardly. Yeah, so your dreams are not just dreams. Just like have reverence every time you go to bed that there's some really magical stuff that you're stirring up in that realm. And whether or not you get to remember it is really like a mercy from God. Like Source will sometimes let you remember certain things because Source wants you to like contemplate and digest a motif from the dream, because it's very relevant, even if it's allegorical, to your waking life. Okay? Now, Ace of Pipes says, when you really listen to the subtle forces, and as women age, it gets easier for us. We kind of like harrow our soul and like whittle it into something that can hear the divine subtle forces better with time. That like the Ace of Pipes comes in, and Pipes, like in this deck in particular, is about the spirit. Right, so it's about spirit and being able to channel the spiritual message and creative and fire. Okay, so there's something really big. It looks like your gift is going to be something very big is coming. And when you've really listened and you stop pushing it off, it's going to come into your mind, body, soul, spirit. You won't be able to resist it. And the outcome is really, really great success. It is the most stability that you could have in this life, because part of living and part of the natural way of living is getting back to how this should be natural. We should all have a lot. And the Divine Feminine gives us infinite solutions on how to do that, okay? All right, now before we go, let's just pull one archetypes card here to tie the reading together. Okay. It's going to be the vessel. Remember that you are a vessel, right? You are here with your body, and your body is your vessel, and it loves you and it wants to see you thrive, and it is capable of connecting to more than just this world, but you have to acknowledge it for the vessel that it is. You're not just a meat carcass, okay? You have a very, very elaborate system by which you can navigate many realms at once, both awake and asleep, okay? Powerful stuff. No wonder why I was getting big gut feelings with this one. I'm excited for you, Group 3. Share it with me. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning into Path of Spirals today. I hope that your reading proves sufficient for you to find your voice, speak your truth, have discernment, and get the world's biggest cornucopia of success in the whole world. My name's Claire. You can tune back in with me for another group reading next week. And till then, see you later. Bye-bye.